Today I want to go over how to use LeadSnap's heat map feature for a down and dirty prospecting method. So the first thing you want to do is come into your LeadSnap account, to the left-hand navigation, go research GMB heat map. The second thing you want to do is open a Google window or Google search window, and you want to choose a niche and location, whatever the niche and location that you want to prospect for. In this case, I'm going to go landscaping Detroit, for example. So that's going to bring up the map pack and a couple of relevant players over here. And this is all of the results. So it's going to bring up all of the different websites and whatnot that are relevant for those specific keywords. I want to go just to the map listings. So I click on the map listings and I go down the list and I can see the relevant players, but I really don't know how powerful they are. I can see where they are around the city a little bit. It doesn't really give me a lot of information. So in this case for prospecting, it doesn't really matter which one of these I select first. It's just going to be the foundational Google business profile that I use to do the research and get the data through the heat map feature on LeadSnap. So if I click this particular Google business profile, it'll bring up this little window here, and it has this share button here. So if I go share, it's going to bring up copy link. I want to copy this link right here. I'm going to put that in another browser window and let that resolve. See, there's a couple of URLs that come up here until it resolves. And then I'm going to copy that particular URL, and that's what we call the map URL. So the My GMB is if you have GMBs already connected to LeadSnap through an API, you have a configuration and whatnot, we'll just use a map URL. And then I want to search those same keywords, landscaping, Detroit, and see how this particular Google business profile ranks for these particular keywords, but also how all the other competitors rank in very specific data points around that. I want to have 1 mile between each point on the grid, and I always want to do a 13 by 13 grid. Now there's various ways that you can do this actual search, because the window or the geographical area may not be in a place that is most favorable for your search. So this is a limited area. Maybe you want to search a wider area, but you still want it to be sort of like a grid or a square rather, or a rectangle, something like that. So you can choose it like that. Or if I want to do some kind of weird geography and go around the water or something like that, depending on my use case, I can do that. And then finally, I can move this map around. There we go. So I can move this around a little bit if it's a little bit off of where I actually want to do the search. So if I just do the search here, then I have that all set up, exactly the geographical area, and then I say start heat map. Now you're going to see that the map is going to start to fill in pretty rapidly with the search results, and that's because LeadSnap is it's running a search on each particular point in the grid, but it's doing multiple searches at a time. So you can see how fast this map fills in. And I can see right away that this particular Google business profile is not ranking stellar. It's actually in an ideal position if it were me doing research on due diligence on my own GMB, to be like, hey, I have a lot of opportunity here because I'm close to the map pack in so many of these different points, but I'm not actually there. I mean, this is an ideal situation from an opportunity standpoint. And if you were prospecting somebody, you would be like, hey, these guys are close. If you were prospecting them for SEO, you'd be like, man, I know I can help you get into the map pack in this wide area because they're already so close. There's a whole bunch of different things that you could do to help them get there. And then if you were prospecting to see if your own lead gen would help this person, you know that they're not doing very well because they're just outside of the map pack almost everywhere, at least for this particular keyword. I would want to run more keywords than just that. But let's say I click this particular location here, and let's see they're in second position here on that particular point in the grid, and I can see all the other 19 businesses that they're competing with on that particular point in the grid. And what this is going to give me is a list of prospects that I can go after and see where, and if I want to see, hey, well, do they even need me? Do they even need my leads? Like, even though modern tree and landscape is in 10th position in that particular location, maybe they're ranking really, really well across the rest of that area. Maybe they're even in first. So the beautiful thing I can do is I can just click that particular GBP, and without costing me another heat map search, it will flip the rankings and show me what that other how that other GBP is ranking in that particular location. I can see it's not ranking well at all. So I know these guys aren't getting any traffic for this particular keyword. So that's going to give me another better insight into whether this might be a good target for me. I would suspect that it is, because they're probably not getting much Google traffic based on this particular Google business search or heat map search, because if they're not ranking for landscaping Detroit, they're probably not ranking for many other key terms either. So the other thing that I can do is I can come down here to the averages section, and it will tell me, see, this is modern tree. That's the one that I'm basing it on right now. It's the one that I just searched, and I can see that they're not ranking well at all in any of these areas of the city. See, and really no one is particularly dominant in this particular geographical area. I see that Grow Garden is 11th, 13th, and 10th. They're probably ranking about the best, or the average is almost around 12, I should say. The other ones are 12, 10, and whatever. So I can see like they're probably one of the best that are ranking in that particular area, in that specific location, as I can see from the rest of these numbers that they are. So I can start to look at all this data, and I can see right away who are going to be the dominant players, who are going to be the people who are sort of in the middle but are struggling to rank. And those are always my primary prospects, because those are the ones that maybe they've gotten a little taste of success. Clearly they're doing some things right. They're not just like at the bottom of the list and probably sitting around waiting for the phone to ring. Like they have business, like they have crews running and all of that, but they just haven't gone over that sort of touch point where they're really crushing it. And then I can come in, if I have a lead gen in the area that's pulling leads, or I want to help them do SEO or whatever, I know that I'm going to be able to target them. They're going to be more open to the conversation because they're going to be hungry for business, hungry to grow. They're not going to be so far at the top. They're dominating the entire area that they're not even going to want to talk to me, and they barely even have time to answer the phone, or they have so much time that's all they're doing is answering the phone because they don't even have any jobs. I want that middle section, real business owners ready to grow. That's how this is it, man. This is your list of prospects. Start reaching out to them right away. That's how you do it with LeadSnap's heat map feature. Go get them.